The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid Carolina Service Company.
Mid Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today. This episode of Hilltop Glove Podcast is brought to you by the Simon Marketing Agency, turning ordinary business into extraordinary one since 2020. Simon James and his team do the hard work of attracting new customers so you can focus on making your business exceptional. As a brand marketing expert, Simon specializes in creating a unique and unforgettable identity for your business. From generating awareness to captivating content creation and strategic advertising, Simon Marketing Agency has you covered. Elevate your business today. Give them a call at 843-942-8880 or email them at simon@simon.com. Visit them at www.simonmarketing.agency. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at BrandSimonTV.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, shopbobs.com for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at WeShopBobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Chris Murphy. He is a father, a photographer, and an entrepreneur that wears many hats. And he also is the creative mind behind Chris Scott Photography, where he specializes in capturing stunning photos, lifestyle moments, and memorable weddings. Beyond his photography endeavors, Chris is also a visionary behind the clothing brand Dyeseffx, a fusion of artistic expression and fashion that has gained attention far and wide. Dyeseffx, which he's wearing right now, it has a passion. Since then, Chris has a passion for tie-dye and shines through in every piece of clothing. Drawing inspiration from his mesmerizing artistry of tie-dye to each garment is a unique masterpiece, reflecting Chris's dedication to creating wearable works of art. What sets Dyeseffx apart is its individuality of each design. No two pieces are the same, making them truly special. Chris's journey into the fashion world took a bold step forward when he showcased in Columbia's Fashion Week. So proud of you. And with his tie-dye hoodies, his jeans, and sweatshirts, he stole the spotlight. He's offering custom garments, and he also does group events such as family reunions and personal touch-ups on other garments. I'm sorry, let me do that over. offers custom garment items for each events like family reunions and adds his personal touch to group gatherings. And how are you today, Chris?
Great. That sounded immaculate. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You
I wanted to
welcome.
read that
You
again.
welcome. I'll email it to you.
Wow,
You
I
can
was
have
intrigued
it.
just listening like that.
You can have it. LinkedIn it. That's LinkedIn bio.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm not gonna lie.
That's
the
dope.
bios are always outstanding. They always catch me
Yeah.
off guard because, man, we have really talented individuals here in
Mhm.
Colombia.
That's awesome.
And I always tell folks, I think we have a great talent pool. And when you actually read some of this stuff out, it's mind-boggling. You don't think about yourself like
I
that.
don't.
You know, you gotta hear
I
your
don't.
accolades.
Yeah,
You gotta give your flowers.
Yeah,
That's like giving
yeah.
your
Thank you. I
flowers.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
You know, I know you, but the people don't know you. So,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself, your childhood. What was it like growing up? You have
Wow.
any siblings?
Well, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Wow, I have 2 older sisters. I'm the baby of the bunch.
Mm.
Shout out to Sonia and Latoya. I don't know. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I was brought up in East New York. I could think back as far as my art goes. It's like maybe 5th grade. I remember my art teacher, Mrs. Razor. Actually, that was kindergarten. Mrs. Razor was kindergarten, excuse me. She's actually the one who pushed my mom to make me look further into my art journey. So she actually was able to give me like a little scholarship to go to Brooklyn College during the summer and just take, different types of art and so on and so
In
forth.
elementary school?
In elementary school.
Wow.
They different up there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was
what?
that was back. That
they
was
let babies
PS 306 East
Y'all
New
ride
York.
subways and stuff though. At young
Yeah,
age.
yeah.
It's
Oh
different.
man.
It's different.
So
Listen.
you like graffiti?
Absolutely. That's where it started.
It
It started out in kindergarten, and then I ain't gonna lie, to get girls attention back in Boys and Girls High School. I used to actually just draw. I used to draw their name and leave it on their desk, or you know what I'm saying? That was back when we used to have loose leaf notebooks. So
Yep.
you had the little clear plastic in the
Yep.
front.
Yeah, you
You
do
know what I'm saying?
design.
So you
Yeah.
slide a little graffiti piece in the clear plastic. Yeah, Chris Cash, Chris Cash is who they call me. Man, Cash is what I write. So yeah,
Was that like your graph name?
yeah,
Your
Cash.
tag?
Cash.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that part about him.
Oh.
I don't-
When you do see my graffiti, which is just recently happened at the museum
What?
during what was that? Oh goodness, art walk.
Oh, yes.
Art walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
At
I
the
did.
Club Museum Art?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I worked with the artist here. It's escaping me right now. Please excuse
Aja?
me. No, it wasn't Aja. Well, it wasn't Aja. Actually, me and Jiff did the artwork.
Uh-huh.
And Veronica. Veronica is the one who's the artist that pretty much created the entire treatment as far as the runway and so on and so forth.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, that event I was actually able to showcase Cash, and then I had Love in the background on the other side. That was cool. That was a cool experience. So Cash,
you do wear many hats. Okay.
Yeah. I try to keep busy.
When your birthday?
October 15th.
Libra?
Libra.
Libra
yes.
gang.
Yeah, how do
The
you
best.
remember this stuff?
I
Good
don't
Lord,
know.
you have it up.
I kind of just be guessing.
Calendar,
October is
gotta
like
be
Libra,
this.
Scorpio,
Bang bang. Yep.
And I see how you
Yeah,
vibe. I see how you
bang, bang,
vibe.
gotta
You're
be-
creative.
Yeah.
Libras are
No,
creative.
you're right. She caught you. God darn it. That's a big thing. She's gonna catch you. She's gonna figure out who you are,
Yep.
and then figure out how that affects you.
Actually, she's part of the reason why I'm at where I'm at.
Aww.
I have to give her
that's
that.
why
I have to give her that props
You get
because
some
that one time
flowers.
you invited me to come to that Sunday brunch that we had is where the ball
Here.
started rolling. Yeah.
Oh, our
Yo,
Work Plus brunch last
yes.
year.
Yeah,
Work plus
that's
That
when
was
the
around
ball
this
started
time, right?
rolling.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
around this time.
Plus
Okay.
brunch.
Yep.
We're
Once
gonna
I
start
came
doing them
here, I
again.
met C. Scott,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and C. Scott pointed me in the direction to meet Dalvin Span.
Mm-hmm.
Then I met the Dove,
Yeah.
and I met
Okay.
Jiffy,
Yeah.
and then I met Juliet at the Cola Fashion Week.
Oh, so that's how all that.
That's how it started. That was
That
Look
was
at
the link.
God.
That
that
was
was
the
the
Look
link.
at God.
link.
It started
Look at
when you
God.
invited me here. So thank you.
It's my job to bring creatives together. Create. If you guys
Absolutely.
do not know,
Yes.
it's our nonprofit.
Yes.
Check us out.
Please do.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for this.
createsc.org, man. Y'all like that? It's really happening thing. I know we're gonna start bringing back those brunches because
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were such a good
Mm-hmm.
for not just ideas but for networking. Like you said,
Absolutely.
bring it because a lot of folks don't know who the people are that they need to contact in order to move forward certain ideas
Right.
and et cetera.
Especially being a creative.
Right,
You know,
right.
and then you being multi-talented. You're like, okay, like which avenue? How do I get grants? Or how do I get exposure? Or what market do I need to be in?
Yep.
All in one
Yep.
room.
All
Yep.
in one room.
All
Yep.
in one room. And that's where everything started for me. So, that was just an opportunity for me to step out of my comfort zone. Because, I'm naturally a homebody.
Yes.
You
I was
know,
about to ask you. Yeah,
I'm a laid back type of dude. I'm
Yeah.
always in the crib, and that was my opportunity to just to step out and do something different. So
Now,
yeah.
since we're speaking about it, I just gotta ask, since you obviously you come and you learned something from it or gained something from that work plus brunch, could you explain in your perception how important it is to have a community or network for artists and creatives to come together to gel and just communicate?
I mean, just based off the lineage I just explained to you right a minute ago, it's really important because you want to have people who are like-minded.
Mhm.
You want to have people who have your best interests at hand, and
Yeah.
you want to have people who can tell you their story. Maybe you can learn something from
Yep.
them.
Bounce some
You
ideas
know, you
off.
bounce some ideas, and
Mhm.
you know, you just never know where you can go with it. I mean, think about it. I do tie dye.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true. Yeah.
how many people you know can say they've made tie dye kind of stylish. You know,
Right,
it was
right.
in style, but I think I've added a style to it to where it has its own character. You know, like you said, each piece is unique, and that's done with intention.
Mhm.
So, you know, just being able to say that, you know, I met C. Scott, and then she actually put the bird in my back to take it to another level as far as like to canvas art.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
also
I
that's
saw that.
we could bring
Yeah.
it.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
exactly. She was the brainstorm behind that because she just saw it as as another medium. So,
Yeah.
you know, that was just at that brunch. Also, you know, when it came to writing grants or getting grants and so on and so
Good
forth,
point.
Funding.
we had people there for that.
Yeah.
So that community, that outreach, that ability just to link up with people that can point you in the right direction is necessary because without it, I would still be in the crib just making tie-dyes.
We're gonna
Like,
keep
you
that
know?
testimonial.
Yes, that's what we gotta
Being
keep
said.
doing though.
But
Yeah.
that kind of goes into
Yeah.
our next question, like trusting your process. How
Mhm.
did you trust your gut instinct to actually like go full force and, design
Yeah.
for everyone, not just
Yeah.
men, not just kids, not
Yep.
for a certain age group. Like your designs, anyone could wear that.
Well, to be honest, it started out as a collaborative effort. Like
Mhm.
I saw, I'll be honest with you, it was a brand, it's a clothing store. I forget where they're from, but his name is Lapstone and Hammer, or somewhere. And they actually was making tie dye drops here and there, and so on and so forth. And I bought a T-shirt for $70. And much like when it came to photography, when it comes to like woodwork and so on and so forth, I'm like, I can do that.
I'm investing.
Do that.
It's
So I
investing.
started out with just buying shirts at Walmart and just realizing like, okay, you know, when I wear them outside, I get a reaction from them.
Yeah.
And then I started posting on Instagram. And then, you know, the more I did, the more pieces I did, the more creative I got. Then I had somebody real dope in my life, which was your mom.
Yeah.
Her mom bought like 8 sweaters from me.
Yeah.
And each of them, she wanted each
I
of
be
them
No, I
wearing
saw
them.
you. I
different.
saw
I
you
be wearing
rocking them.
every
I
color.
remember when she started rocking. I was like, "Yo, what are these?"
She
Yeah.
wanted each of them different colors and
Yeah.
everything and so forth. So that allowed me to create a catalog because of all the colors, like every color you can
Got
think of,
you.
and she asked for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that allowed me to again display that on Instagram, and then that went into just buying pieces like I wanted to be like the Ralph Lauren of tie dye, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
have core pieces. And with some brands, there's always those core pieces, those blazers,
Mhm.
that certain
Mhm.
type of hoodie with the certain type of neck on it, whether it's
Yeah.
a drawstring or whatnot.
Mhm.
Just noticing those different types of things, I just know I wanted to go in that lane and just create my brand to look like that, to have those core pieces that you can expect to see. And so putting it out on Instagram and just wearing it outside, just seeing people that's reaction, taking them to normal warehouse, and just seeing people's reaction, knowing that this is not about me. You know, I like for the person to put on my joint feel like it's art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
their personal expression, and I think that's one big part. You know, just liking to see people feel good about themselves and knowing that I did that,
And comfortable.
and
Y'all,
it's
the
comfortable,
material.
right?
Oh my
And it's
God.
done with
Yeah,
intention.
you
Like
pick good material.
Yeah.
I do. Like again, I prefer quality over anything. That's
Yeah.
just one reason why I like that Ralph Lauren. Like
Mhm.
you know, when you buy something Ralph Lauren, no matter what you spend, it's gonna be
Mhm.
quality, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have it for a long time.
Exactly.
So investing in that quality, you know, do that trial and error, buying different types of hoodies and knowing which brands to rock with, which brands go with the dye, so on and so forth. That whole
Mhm.
process, it's part of me. I'm giving a part of me to you, just knowing that you guys
Yeah.
are gonna love this for a long
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
And you know, that's what's been working. Just taking myself out of it, just wanting people to feel good about, you know, something I made for them.
That's the greatest thing as an artist or creative, seeing someone rock your stuff and you be like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, like you rock
I
with
do.
me. I made
Yeah,
that.
you
Like,
I do.
thank you. It's
exactly,
like inspiring when
exactly.
I see people post the picture that I took as their profile picture
Yeah.
or like as their cover picture.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Man, I
thank
can't
you.
tell you like the feeling I get when I
Yeah.
see somebody with a sweater or hoodie that I made. Like,
Yeah.
Yo.
I did that. I
I
did
did
that.
that.
Yeah, I gotta ask you this now because all right, so our podcast, we are informational.
Right.
And I know you were speaking a bit, and we're talking about trusting the process. Could you speak a little bit about your process? Because your stuff doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Well, it's actually like a combination of everything that I saw on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll take something from one YouTuber. It's like, that's not what I'm gonna do. I can't possibly try to replicate what somebody else does.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. That's
No
just, it
biting.
has to be right. I come from the era where no biting, no biting my rhymes, no biting my
Right.
style.
Yeah.
So knowing that I don't want my stuff to look like anybody else's, I just take a bit of one process and add it to another. It's pretty primary. One day I do share it is ice dye primarily. So it's a labor of love where you just like throw ice in a certain way and throw the dye on top of it, and you just want to make sure that
What?
you just wait for the
No,
process.
because you see, like,
But
what you're
one
wearing looks like
detail,
marble.
one detail in it is the fold. So there's certain types of folds that you do to get the
Yeah.
results that you
You
desire.
want,
So
yeah.
I typically go through that, especially when I'm making a custom piece with somebody. I go through, have you seen something I like that you like that I've done? I can make it your own. So, with that, I go through the different types of folds that I do to get different types of looks.
Yeah.
We go through the color process because this is actually one color. What you're looking at is one color. And this is like becoming like my signature. I'm always going to look like I put this in the show. I wear this all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's because this is like that piece. It's like you look at it once or twice and you
That ain't normal.
you still
It's
find
not.
you still find different things that you like
Yeah.
about it. And then with the 3M the 3M logo on it, it's definitely gonna catch your eye
Yeah.
someplace. So
I love the logo. Just seeing your brand like transformed from the beginning to now,
yeah,
I love it. You're very intentional.
absolutely, absolutely. Like the hoodies are not the same. For
They
me.
not.
No, they
That's
not.
what people gotta understand. That's I'm like every picture. I'm like,
Oh, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, like he's out here like working. I love it. I love
So
it.
what all right, so what experience or what did you see that made you understand that importance of marketing? And this is just like brass tacks, explain our folks' process again. Folks who are entrepreneurs are wanting to do art and have their art actually exist and get out there far. People don't think about that. And then for you to make that something paramount, hey, I gotta make sure I market this properly, that people are gonna want to see this, that they come back, that they follow my stuff, that they like it, that it gets out there and has a life of its own. Like, did you learn that through education, schooling? How did you walk upon that?
I'm still learning that, bro.
Oh,
That
man,
is the
I like
hardest
that.
part because as an artist, I get consumed with the product.
Okay.
I get consumed with what it looks like and how I want it to look, and then I get stuck on how I want people to see it. So that's where Cola Fashion Week came in at. Getting people to see that it's not just tie-dye. It's not just a tie-dye t-shirt. It's not just your regular. So that was pretty much my marketing. I actually just got my pictures back. I'm really excited.
The way you and Jiffy like mesh and
Listen, shout out to Jeff.
did that, like your outfits, oh my God, so cohesive. It really looked like some top notch.
Yeah.
Like
so-
I would like wear every look. The men's stuff, like I wanted
But
both.
it's actually stuff that you would wear, not just couture.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was the strength behind our
Yeah.
session is the fact that what you saw on the runway, you literally could probably go
wear.
home with.
Yeah.
That's
I think
strong.
was the strongest part of our
Blazers,
show.
like
Because
any
even
type
her
of
crochet,
material.
like her crochet is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it meshed with the colors. The
Yeah.
colors just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Shout
gotta
out
start
to
walking around
teaching
and just
oneself,
wearing your clothes all the time.
crocheting.
That is all right. Now, back to this marketing thing. 'cause
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep-
So
keep
with the
hammering
with the
this
marketing
to
piece
figure
again,
out.
it was Cola Fashion Week, getting people to see what it looks like, and then of course, like I need people to see themselves in the garments. So the next thing I'm actually doing is actually releasing pictures that we took afterwards. Like I
Oh.
designed maybe 2 or 3 looks, and then I connected with Cola Fashion Week, and they was able to set up a photo session with Aaron Smalls.
Okay.
Now
Ooh,
we
that's
just
gonna
got
be
the
dope.
pictures back. I was gonna put them out yesterday, but I was like, you know what? Let me record. Let me just holla at y'all real quick, and then
Yeah.
once I leave here, I'm gonna release them.
Hot off the
so I'm gonna
press.
drop 'em.
Oh,
Hot
all
off the
right.
press.
I'm
Hot
gonna
off the
release like
press.
2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 pictures, but there was 3 models that came out and showed love, and then the 4th was Jiff.
Yeah.
She was
Oh.
not playing, but Jiff always holds me
Deliver.
down,
She always
Yeah.
deliver.
and she delivered,
Yeah.
and she killed this shit. Excuse my language, but she
No, you're
killed
fine.
it. And, I'm really excited about these pictures, y'all.
Cool.
So
I'm so happy.
when it comes to marketing, I'm still learning.
Mhm.
This is marketing. This is getting people to see that this is me.
Wear your
They're
brand
buying me.
everywhere.
This is something I love. I'm not just putting something together and throwing it out there.
And I like how you
So,
mix it with the shoes. For the
yeah,
guys
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like the
yeah.
shoes,
say it. No, seriously,
So
put
I
the
think
look
the
together.
biggest part is getting people to see yourself in them. You know, getting people to see other people in them.
I want
in
to
the
see a
clothing.
men's blazer.
I got
You
you.
got one of those?
I have one.
Yeah, I
One
want to
now.
see a men's blazer.
You have one already?
I have one. I wore one for the what was that? The Met Gala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pictures are there.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think I've already seen it.
I'm wearing a blazer dyed
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
color.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could you speak to this too? Because I know one of the things that I guess it's a kind of a gateway that a lot of people don't like to jump over as entrepreneurs or beginning creatives and business folk. And I know this is something that we think about all the time. Do you spend money on marketing, like specifically to get your brand out?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you explain? Because I want people to hear it because I think this is like something that you don't.
Where I spend my money at is pretty much, how can I say this? It's social media. You have to boost your posts. You spend money boosting your posts.
Yeah.
You spend money on the pieces themselves. The photography I got covered. So that aspect I take care of myself. But it's mostly just boosting posts. And then when I actually have like a street event that I go to, like something like a normal warehouse, it actually shut down recently.
I know,
But I went there a
sadly.
couple of times and people was able to discover the brand there. So, you really, for me, it's about being strategic. It's about being really strategic at where I put my money. And,
Do you have a budget?
I don't really, because I'll be honest with you, the way things are going for me right now,
Yeah.
the balance of, being much like a single father,
Yeah.
and then also just having that day-to-day lifestyle, taking care of those bills.
Yeah.
Like you just want to make sure that where you put your money at is focused. So I
Gotcha.
focus my money, not necessarily a budget, but when I do have that extra
It's
income,
not wasteful.
it's not. When I do have that extra income, I'm putting it towards something meaningful, and I'm getting the brand. The brand is growing. The brand is
Gotcha.
growing. People are
That's what we
finding
like to
it. And
hear.
that's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
The brand is growing, and I'm just focused on being myself. Like I actually didn't read none of the questions. I read the questions
I
real
like
quick.
that.
No, people say
I
that
like
all the
that.
time
I like
though.
that.
But then when they hear
Yeah.
the bio, they're like, "Oh, I like that. I like
Yeah.
you made me
Yeah,
sound."
yeah. I read that, but I was like, okay, this is about me. I'm not reading everything. Nah.
Yeah,
Some
because
people
I
don't like
don't want
to
it to
be
be
too prepared.
canned. Yeah, I don't want it to be canned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I like natural, especially because as we always tell folk, the questions and the way in which we talk, it's just a guideline to make sure that
Right.
we don't get off track. I know I be wilding.
Me too. I like
See?
to. I talk.
See,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Once I start,
Exactly.
because I'm mostly quiet, but then when
Yeah.
I do talk and I open up, I got a lot to say.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So again, just being myself. That's what I think people need to see. Just me being myself. I'm
Yeah.
not one of those dudes who are just all about the money, who is just all about, just themselves. This is not. This is the most selfless thing I do, to be honest with you,
Wow.
because I like to see people love themselves.
Yeah.
I got an 11-year-old daughter, and we had that conversation, and I told her she need to love herself. She cried,
Aw.
and she's like, "Dad, I need to hear that." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm about to cry too."
Oh.
So wait a minute.
That's
Wait a
so
minute.
cute.
So just
Yeah.
having that, then that's my baby. So you just knowing that that's being myself is what my brand is going to be about, and just putting that love into every piece I make. It may take a long time. Some people do wait a while, but it's only because I don't put out the first thing that I make.
I like
Sometimes
that. Yeah.
if I wouldn't wear it, I wouldn't put it on myself.
Yeah.
I'll start over, or I'll buy another piece. I'll spend the extra money just to get another piece because I want you to get your money's worth.
Now talk about that. You just tell more of the process. How many times you have to trial and error
Mhm.
Good
and
point.
trying new
So
products.
with certain colors, they bleed.
Mhm.
Red bleeds pink. So somebody asked me for something that's like red and white, like something for Valentine's Day. I have to let them know it's not going to be a solid red because red bleeds. No matter what tone of red I get, it's going to come out.
It's gonna bleed.
It's
Yeah.
going to bleed pink. So that part of the process you kind of learn because you'll get a dye process, you get a ice dye process to go through, right? And then you got your nice little white areas and whatnot, and you think that's going to stick, and then you got to wash that red. You got to wash the dye out.
Yeah.
Washing it out, you got to make sure that you keep those white areas white.
Yeah.
So I made it my business to that. I don't offer that anymore. There's like them half white ones.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore
Yeah.
because if it doesn't come out, like if it's not something I would wear, I'll start over. And you can bleach them, but the bleach damages the material.
And your
So
cloth,
it's definitely a process that I've learned to hone in on, especially when it comes to the fold. So I know I can get a certain fold and get the colors exactly the way I want them if I do a certain type of fold.
So roughly, how long does it take to do like one piece?
Typically, you're supposed to let them soak for 30 minutes. I let
Okay.
it soak for at least 12 to 24 hours.
Okay.
And after the soaking process, I drain it out. It's all by hand. Everything is by hand. So I don't put it in a washing machine to drain out because it's a solution you soaking in soda ash. You let it soak in soda ash again, typically for 30 minutes. I do 12 hours or more just to make sure it's soaked thoroughly. And I wring it out by hand. Each piece is thoroughly by hand, wringing it out in the sink. And then you just pick your colors. Like if I have like a shoe that I'm trying to match or something like that, I have my colors selected. Or if I'm doing an experiment, like this was a complete and total experiment.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
And
just crazy. It's a nice experiment.
it depends on like the weight of the fabric, how much ice you use, I have a measuring stick for how much dye I apply to the ice and so on and so forth. Like it's real
You're
in-depth
a
process.
scientist, and this is not sweatshop labor.
Right.
man.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not easy, but then again, it's fun. It's exciting because as soon as you put that color to that ice, I can't wait. You got to let it soak for at least 8 hours. I
Yeah.
let it soak for sometimes 2 days. The longer it soaks, the longer you let the dye process and let the dye sit on top of it, the less likely you're going to have bleed out and runoff. And therefore
Okay.
you get a more in-depth color and
Right.
belts.
Better
So you
product.
don't get something that sit on top of the shirt and that washes out
Over
after
time.
2 or 3
Okay.
washes. Like I've intentionally, like I said, I wear this sweater all the time. I wash it, wear it, wash it, wear it, wash it, wear it. Just so you know that this is something that you can wear is going to last for a long time.
Now, where'd the
'Cause-
name come from? Because the people
Well,
are going to be like, what? What does it mean?
well,
How you
I'm
say it?
from Brooklyn,
Yeah, you're
and
supposed to know.
from Brooklyn, and one of my favorite groups in hip hop is Dyeseffx.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I guess I get kind of personal. I was trying to think of what kind of tie dye. I didn't want to be like the dye is right, or I didn't want to be to die for. I didn't want to do anything like that. I wanted to do something that was, for one, influenced by hip hop,
Yeah.
because I am thoroughly influenced by hip hop.
Yeah.
When I think about hip hop kind of like accepts you. You can't just be hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You can't come from as an outsider and think that you hip hop. So this is something for me that I feel is my expression of hip hop.
Mm.
When it came to Dyeseffx, it was that song Back in Effect. And I was just listening to it and I was like, wait a minute, Dyeseffx. Yeah, that'll
That's
work.
it?
That'll work. I
really
hopped out the shower because if I don't, if I don't write it down someplace, I'm gonna forget it. I hopped out the shower, wrote it down, finished up, and then I just started drawing it. I started writing it down, my handwriting, just to see how it looks. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. All caps, that'll work.
Mm.
So it's intentionally like hues, wherever you see it is stamped. You're
No, I was
it's
about to ask you about
reflective.
that. Yeah, it's real bold.
Yeah, it's
Bold,
real
yeah.
bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intentionally that way. Sometimes on the front, some on the back. And with me, I like logos all over the place. So I work with different types of logos that I give them as the option to put on their shirts.
That's another the add-on.
Yeah.
But some
Well,
brands
that's what
don't
it
do
is.
that.
Yeah.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
You get what you get what you get. That's something I'm looking forward to doing, just giving you a drop. Because I think the customization aspect is something that I want to pursue, but I think for like mass production, I want to do drops.
I
Yeah.
was about to ask because this is more in the process. It's like once you start getting like, because of course I see your brand just growing and blowing up, right? But you get to the point where now you have massive amounts of orders, and you no longer can do the process in the way that you by yourself. Have you thought about how you would scale that up?
I have, because Dyeseffx is just like one aspect of my artistry.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Chris
Yeah.
Scott photography, and it's Chris Scott photography and design. So the design aspect is where I've been focusing on. Photography is one thing. I love it. Sometimes I fall out of love with it. It's because I can't be as creative as I want to be. So now that I have Dyeseffx, the ultimate goal is to create a design brand, design firm. So Dyeseffx is just that entry level. So when I think about mass production, I think about the idea that I want to keep it at a certain level.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it too accessible.
Mhm.
I wanted to have a certain mystique about the brand. I
Gotcha.
want people to look for it.
You don't want to be in Walmart.
No, I don't. I
Okay.
don't. I don't want to. I don't want to make it to the point where it's just the same shirt all the time. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I have a goal that I want to keep it like sort of like a boutique style to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when people know what is coming out, they go look for it, and then if they have something ideas that they want to create, they can reach out to me.
Person.
And I don't mind like training or showing somebody how to do. That's what I did with Jif. Like
Oh,
she
cool.
did some of the tie dye.
So you
Oh.
show people the process.
Yeah,
You can
yeah, I
show-
would. It's like something I keep to myself. Jif is the only one I've
Aw.
showed. and she does the damn thing. She really paid attention to.
I
You know,
thought
the
the
instructions.
crochet looked tie-dye.
Not the crochet, well, she kept the crochet, but
Okay.
some of the crochet pieces that she paired with tie-dye, she did the tie-dye.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
so she did work on
Yeah.
the tie-dye and the
Yeah.
crochet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Mm.
she's that dope. I showed her my process and showed her what results she can get, gave her the colors that she picked, and she ran with it. Actually, she picked this color. I'm not gonna tell
Yeah.
what color it is, but she picked this color and I used it and I was like, yo,
No, cause I'm
That's
keep
my
looking
color.
at this. It's
I'm
like,
trying to
what?
figure it out. It's like
it's
a
one
blue.
color. It's
That
no.
is wild.
It's like it's a metallic gray. I'll say that. It's
Metallic
a gray. It's a shade of gray.
Dang.
Shade of gray that produces like
Looks marble.
maybe
Bluish
four
green.
or five colors. It's
Yeah.
blues, it's greens, it's oranges, it's pinks.
Now, would you be open to doing this process and teaching it to kids?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Because I think they would love that.
I would love
Yeah.
like something like a
Kids would
a
be
art
drawn
a
right
art
to it.
class or something like that because it doesn't stop at clothing.
Right.
It
You know,
doesn't.
I can show a kid how to dye canvas, wrap the canvas, and then paint
Paint
on it.
on top of it.
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much like the next level of what I want to do this year. It's like actually collaborate with not just brands but other artists just by creating a canvas for them
To work on.
to work on. Yeah.
No, you're right, because it can create some really unique.
Yeah, because
effects.
canvas is
Yeah,
as long as it's
you're
cotton-
right.
Yeah.
as long as
You're
it's cotton,
right.
it can be dyed, it can be
Yeah.
processed, and it can be painted on. So
My mind is
I have
going.
a few. I have a
Imagine
few
we
that's
could,
like the 36 by 24. I have a few that's
Yeah.
already lined up that I'm actually going to say, hey, listen, you can take this and paint on it.
You've already
Yeah,
dyed
I
the
have them. I
canvases
have them
and
already. I
everything?
just haven't like put them out there to the public.
Okay,
Jiff
okay.
actually has one that she
Okay.
does with her Afro Cubism,
Okay.
but we just haven't put it out there yet because
Okay.
I just want like we just getting over Cola Fashion. Week or
Yeah, I know
whatever.
that was a
It's
lot.
another one coming up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about jumping into that again.
Do it.
I-
Do
She
it.
said do it.
The,
No
the,
even
the
question.
block
If
is
the
hot. The
pieces come
block
to
is
me,
hot.
if the pieces come to me, I'm definitely gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually thrift a lot of my pieces,
Okay.
and then some pieces I actually try to make original or just make my own, especially when it comes to like bombers and so on and so forth.
That kind of goes
Those
into
core
our
pieces.
next question,
Yeah.
like being a man in fashion. So
Yes.
is it kind of intimidating?
Yes.
It wasn't because it was all love. Like everybody, like when I was again, we think about Cola Fashion Week. Any event I went to, people just told me about how much they liked the brand. They didn't know much about me, which is cool. That's cool by me.
Being
Yeah,
that means
yeah.
you
I
do
mean,
your
I'm the type of artist I can put something out, walk away, and let just people go crazy over it,
Mhm.
and just I won't even claim that that's mine. I just
Getting
like
it back,
to see.
just looking.
Right,
Right.
right,
Go ahead.
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
working
That's the type of
itself.
person I am. I'm just that low key, but again, stepping out on faith and wanting to grow myself, grow my brand.
Mhm.
Being a part of Fashion Week, it wasn't intimidating at all because of all love. I mean, I'm thinking about when we was doing the show and I was backstage. It was like people who didn't know the brand was walking up to it, looking at the racks,
Because
like,
the
yo,
colors, they
yeah.
pop. Let me tell you, y'all, they pop. That's why I've been wearing them. They pop, and it just attracts your eye. And then it's so
everybody
comfy.
who was back there who didn't see the brand, they walked past and it was like, yo, that's dope.
What's
Like
that? Yeah.
this, you did this? Like, yeah, I did this.
You created your own lane.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
see
cool.
it. I haven't seen anybody in, around, or by that
It
lane.
exists. Don't let me. I'm
But not
not the
here.
first.
But what
I'm
I'm
not
saying-
first. I just think I'm the one with the most style to it.
Yeah.
I'll claim that. I'll
Yeah.
own that.
I mean, because of course, I mean, you're looking at something, and like most people know the whole saying, nothing's original,
Right.
nothing under the sun. It's just, it ain't what Nas say. It's not how you. It's not what you do, but how it's done.
How it's
Mhm.
done. Yeah,
And that's what it is. You're doing it differently
Right.
than others have seen it before.
intentionally.
Yeah, and that's what makes it dope. That's what makes the art
Intentionally,
the
yeah.
art, because you can take a pretty picture, you can paint a pretty picture, but it's how you go about doing it that
Right.
gives the effect to the audience, and they're seeing it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. It's
having that
growing.
effect on
I'm
folks.
I'm thankful for I'm thankful for being here, man. I appreciate
Oh,
y'all.
no,
Man,
when I
appreciate you,
was
man.
like, why did it take so long to have Chris on the podcast?
be
You
busy.
know?
Everything happens within its
Yeah.
timing.
I'm gonna say that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, people are busy, stuff happens. We try to plan stuff out in advance, and it is weird because I mean, like from the first time that I met you, I was like, oh, we're gonna see him a lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna see him a lot, right? But then you live life, stuff happens, etc. But just back onto men and fashion,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say something that my wife she would like for me to say this because she's always talking trash about this. She's like, why? Because it's funny that she said men in fashion. Well, men seem to actually run a lot of fashion.
Yeah.
And her big thing is like, well, why do men always make women's clothing and they don't make them with pockets? We never have pockets on our clothes. I want pockets on my clothes. And so I was thinking about that. I said, dang, she is right. We don't be making no pockets for women. Now, here's the cool thing about your stuff. It got pockets.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I can say is that like being a man, I don't always know what to pick for a woman.
That's why, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So-
It just so happens stuff that I pick happens to have pockets because as I'm thinking like a man, it's functional.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
I'm thinking like a
Yeah.
man, but I'm picking something for a woman. 'Cause
Yeah.
let it be known that women are my biggest supporters.
Wow.
Women
Mm.
buy more of my stuff than men do on any given day.
That says a lot.
Wow.
Any given day. They buy them for their men.
Yeah.
And they buy them for themselves and they buy it for the men. Because I don't think a lot of dudes can see themselves. They like you don't when you think of tie-dye, you're not thinking
Hippie,
right. You're
such.
thinking of hip
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't think about like, yo, this actually got some kind of style to
Yeah, I
it.
got swag to it. I can't
So,
put this on.
you know, and
Yeah.
unless they see it, then they're not going to understand it. But when women, for some reason, I don't know what it is,
They have eyes.
It's the
they have
color.
they have
It's
the
the
eye
color.
for it, and you know, it's always a compliment. It's always, oh, you can do something like this, and then I upcycle. I use that all the time. Listen, you got something in your closet that you tired of, you check and see if it's at least 80% cotton and hit me up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? If it's at least 80% cotton, I got a chance to make it something new. And you can take it and wear it like you just bought it.
See, that's pretty cool too, because you're showing people how to like,
Yeah.
you know, not just go out and just keep buying stuff.
Not just
Let me see what you're
consumerism.
working
Yeah,
with.
that's why I thrift.
Yeah.
I found a jacket like weeks ago. I found out it's like a Western full-length work jacket. It's like $120 on Amazon. I paid $6 for that.
Wait,
joint.
this the one I had asked you
Shut up.
about.
Is it?
I was like, you was like, they sold out on Amazon, but they
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fire the way
Wait,
you
got
did
this
it.
you said like
It's
full length?
full length. It's like a rancher's winter jacket.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
And it
Thick.
was $6. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's long. And it's like when I find pieces like that, I'm like, yo, I hit people up like, yo, should I buy it? And as long as it's 80% cotton, it's good. That joint just happened to be 100% cotton because of its canvas. And so I got some pictures coming out with that too. I work with Jamal
gonna
Joseph.
Be dope. That's
It's gonna be dope.
dope.
It's gonna be dope. And it's like, again, just looking at those pictures, I put a woman in that jacket. You know, because you just need to see that, yo, women love Dyeseffx.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it's the blazers. You know,
Mhm.
Jiff did one of the blazers. I
Yeah.
do blazers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the comfortable hoodies.
He did
Now I
some
got
pants.
the pants.
The
Everything is
pants,
comfortable.
everything.
Everything is intentionally like made to feel like it's something quality that you wouldn't mind spending your money on. Because that's ultimately, I do want to have a high dollar mark.
Yeah.
But at this
obviously.
point, it's something that's growing. So
Yeah.
I do want to have it to the point where it's really high end. It's custom. It's, you know, it's aglets on your laces if you get one of those hoodies. It's you know, little buttons here, and so on and so forth. I want to make it really tailored towards a woman's taste because the women who buy my stuff buy them for themselves, and they buy them for their men as well.
I gotta make a
Showing your
tease on this.
appreciation.
Yo,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
I got a tease on this for women with hoodies because there's somebody that I follow, a couple online, and they do their little vignettes. And one of the things that they make fun of is the fact that women are always stealing their men's hoodies.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Oh my lord! And so no wonder I'm like, yeah, y'all really do like hoodies.
Yeah.
So I can see like, yeah, they're comfortable. Like you
I
said,
got
it's about
a-
being comfortable
I got a
in your
good 20.
clothes.
I got a good 20
Yeah.
hoodies in my
See?
closet.
See?
Yep, and
That's
about like
bad.
you got like
Women
5
like
of those
comfortable
Dyeseffx
clothes.
hoodies.
Yep.
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 Richland Northeast hoodie.
Oh.
Bottle hoodie. Beatcon hoodie.
Right.
Beacon.
Love, speak love, no hate hoodie.
Yeah.
I just love hoodies.
They're comfortable.
Tomboys are dope hoodies.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do got the top with the dope hoodies. Those-
I just love
Oh,
hoodies.
yeah. Because it's comfortable clothing. And I guess people don't think about when you think about fashion, and even like we were speaking earlier about couture and all this other stuff,
Mhm.
like fashion, technically, like comfortable clothing is fashion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it can be very fashionable.
That's the route that Kanye West was going.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Just being comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I
You
can
know?
put this on and I can go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have to worry about having to have on Spanx for this to work. The Spanx of God. Like I ain't gotta
That's
have
so
that on.
crazy.
to
You
make it
just
rock.
talking Banks.
Yeah. Yo, I told her, I said, man, you know, I'm gonna start getting me some of them Kim Kardashian drawers. She said, we're gonna stop playing. Nah, cause them drawers be looking something
I don't know.
else.
I can't
They
do
be
Skims.
looking
Feel
the
comfortable in
athletes in
paying
them.
Skims.
For real. You be
I
having
always tell you, what
Skims
kind of
on,
drawers you got
yo,
on? Skims.
Skims.
I can't do that.
I've got the
Let me-
model Skims.
Let me stick to my Hanes.
Yeah, Hanes work, man. And they cotton, they breathable. They feel good on your body. It's actually good for your health.
Yeah.
So y'all don't know what them Skims will do to you. You have all kinds of fungus and stuff growing on your body, but it's all good. But yes, had to take a little break on that one to say that. But again, one last point on men in fashion.
Yeah.
Most of the large scale like designers and big fashion folk, we know there's a lot of white males dominating that sector. as a black male, and not that it has to be a racial thing. I just want to know this because I'm a black male too.
Mhm.
How does it feel being in those rooms? Do you feel you get the same type of respect, and is there camaraderie when you're in those rooms talking fashion?
That's a really good
That
question.
was good.
Oh
That
yeah, I
wasn't
don't
even
play.
on the list, y'all. Just so
Oh no,
y'all know.
that's just how my mind works. It's one of
For me, and I'm glad you asked that question because I think about this often. And where I think about it, it's like everything is like a black owned, not everything, but the brands that come out, like, it's really a big thing to be a black owned business.
yeah.
And I don't have anything against that because I am a black man that owns a business.
Mhm.
But I'm in the people business,
Yes.
you know. So when I get people that come up to me from any particular, walk of life, ethnicity or whatnot, it's all diverse.
Yeah.
And so being in those rooms, they see the work first. Then they see me. It's like, oh, that's you.
Mhm.
They're not seeing me and then seeing the work, So like I'm exhibiting my work, and if I'm at the museum and I'm doing arts and drafts, and I'm pretty much like the only black man in there with a
We feel
spot.
you.
We know.
They're not
Yeah.
coming up to me and like, hey, Mr. Black Man, let me look at your work. They're looking at the work and like, hey,
Yeah.
this is dope.
Good work.
And I'm like, hey, this is and they shake my hand, they ask questions.
Yeah.
And it's nothing more gratifying than standing and talking to anybody about what I do. Like
Mhm.
people stand there and ask questions just like you asking questions, what about the process? How did you do that? How did you get into it? So on and so forth. So when I get that type of reaction, I don't think about being black. I think about I'm doing something for people and people are loving it. And I'm not saying that black comes second because at the end of the day, I love being black,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's even dope when you could when your work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even more gratifying when it's not about you. It's not about your skin color. It's not about where
Mhm.
you're from.
I think
It's
that's
your
what
work.
you. as a creative. Yeah.
And that's why as a creative, like before, I was comfortable not being Chris Scott, the photographer, not
Mhm.
being Chris Scott, the person who's out there having a conversation with people. I was comfortable with being in the background, but now that I realize like there's a power behind being able to be myself and also to connect with people,
Mhm.
it's even more gratifying being in those rooms and seeing the different reactions and knowing that, okay, every place I go, somebody tells me you're onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hear that. And so
Yeah.
that's like, okay, I'm onto something. And not just as a black business, but as a person, as an
Mhm.
artist, as a
Mhm.
human,
Mhm.
I think that's really dope. And that's what keeps me going, to be honest with you. Just seeing seeing people's reaction.
Yeah.
It's dope.
I like your mindset. I
What
Thank
type
you.
of people are you looking to work with or seeking to work with?
Artists.
Artists.
I have a knack for like interior design.
Yeah,
And
talk about that because they don't know. I didn't mention that in the bio, y'all. But,
Mhm.
Well, having built furniture before, I did do it professionally for some time. I worked here with a furniture designer. I'm not going to mention the name or nothing like that. We still cool, but it is what it is. But having that, and I guess that extends from me being in a little small bedroom back in Brooklyn, New York, and seeing everything, like seeing like on TV, things
Yeah.
can be different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now that I'm here in the South, are different.
Mhm.
And then home ownership is important.
Yeah.
And also the style of your home is important. So
Yeah.
if you're married, it's important. If you're a bachelor, it's
It's
important.
important.
So it's always been important for me to have a dope crib. If I could put together a dope outfit, why can't my crib be dope?
Mhm.
Mm.
So I want to work with people who don't mind, dyeing some poultry, having certain
Cool.
pillows and so on and so forth. If I don't do
That's
that,
cool.
I
I'm
could
about to
do it
bother
myself.
you. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I could do it myself,
Yeah.
but I would love to work with an interior designer.
It would make sense.
I would want to do everything. I want to do textiles. I want to do wallpaper.
Yes.
I even want to do furniture that has a tie-dye effect to it. Like there is no boundaries to where I can go with this because it's all from a place of love and it's
Yeah.
all from a place of just wanting to be myself.
I want to get into textile design and pattern making. So
That's what tie-dye is.
That's what's so cool when you talk about that. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
You think
can do
about
a lot.
like indigo,
Yes.
like C. Scott told me about indigo and how
Yeah.
important that is to the South and so on. It's like hard to get batches of indigo, So I would love to work with somebody who does indigo art.
Mm.
Like there is no boundaries. I want to work with people who just want to make it, have a positive impact on the world as it is. Just
Man.
be art, just be artistic, and just find stuff to do.
The limit does not exist.
It does.
It
not.
doesn't.
There is no
It
limit.
doesn't. There is no limit to who I am and the people who I can meet.
Mhm.
Where can people find you on social media, contact you, place orders?
It's all on Instagram and Facebook. Dyeseffx, Dyeseffx. Yep.
Yep. He's
And
not lying like
photography?
that. Your photography.
Oh, photography. Chris Scott PXD Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today. I was about to say thank you for having us. We
Thank you for having
had
us.
No, thank you for inviting
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
again, I appreciate it from day one. Like
Yeah.
you had a vision, and I appreciate the fact that
just
you
like
invited me. And
being
thank y'all
creative.
for having a platform, because like I said, without that brunch,
Yeah.
who knows where I would be.
I like
Yeah.
this is natural growth. It
Listen,
went
I
from
give all of
brunch
y'all the
to
credit.
Full circle
Yeah,
moment.
man. Full
Absolutely,
circle. Yeah.
absolutely. It can only get better from here.
Yeah. And I will say, I always like to have conversation. I always say this because I'm going to make sure people realize I always say this for real. I like conversating with people that we know,
Right.
because the conversation is always good and it's always genuine.
Mhm.
So it's nice to actually sit down and chop it up, to get to know more about you and what you're doing out here, so that the audience will know, so we can get you out here more, man. Because I think
appreciate
there's
that.
something that's good for our city and just our cultural influence and what we're doing. Because again, we go other places and we see beautiful things that they're doing, etc. I'm like, yeah, we got stuff back.
Right.
Columbia's
What
Yeah.
about
dope,
home?
man.
Yeah.
It's dope, man. So yeah, we
Right.
always
And
want
this
to make sure we
and
show
this
it.
is home. So I appreciate y'all for having me here.
And if you ever need us to support or promote anything, just
Yeah.
send it to us. All right.
Will do. That's that marketing I need help.
We got you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Matter of
appreciate
fact,
it.
we have one of our sponsors, man, does marketing, and yeah, we got to bother him. We're gonna bother him about some things. I told him I got to call him to bother him, and he'll even give you consultation.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. But man, I like to say we had great, dope conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me go off like I did. I know I kind of went off in a tangent.
Nah, you're
It was
fine. That's
perfect.
what we
No, it
wanted.
was
That's
really
what we
perfect.
want. That's
Okay,
what we want. That's
cool.
what we want. But for DJ and what?
Maya.
Skip in the back.
Yep.
Our intern, Mr. Brescia. Yeah. And then our esteemed guest, Chris.
Thank you.
Dyeseffx.
Thanks
We
again.
appreciate having you here today to speak with us. Yeah, give him that good smile and that carrot so they can see your face, man.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. But the Hilltop Glove, we're going to be a podcast. We're signing off. As I like to tell everybody, make sure you tell somebody, I'm going to look at this camera here. Tell somebody next to you or around you that you love and you appreciate them. Until the next time, peace.